Okay, so I was bored. I was looking at a YouTube clip on talking about the Mobius strip, and people are fascinated about it, like it's some magical thing. Ooh, it don't make sense. Blah blah blah. Um, then I've even heard people say, "Oh, it goes on forever and ever and ever." No, it don't, because it's made of material. So whatever you make it out of, basically, I just tried to do a rough estimate. So if you had basically like we'll say, because I'm counting the width of an atom, which is 0.1 nanometers. Um, Times 1 times 10 to the power minus 10, whatever it is. So about 10 billionth. So you imagine, basically it'd be like one, if it's 1 inch by 1 inch Mobius strip, and you flipped it and put it together. And then you end up cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. Well, if you could cut all the way down to the width of an atom, and if those atoms stayed together, and it's material, it's matter, then you would basically end up having 10 billion inches. Okay, so then I did divided by 12, so you'd have the feet, and shoot. See, now I wasn't going to do this. Try and get a rough estimate real quick of how many feet. I'm using a number that I use. So the number I would use for feet in a mile would be, oh, wait a minute. Let's see. 53, 64, 33, yeah. Okay, that's the number I come up with because I perfected the system. See, they used to use meters. They come over here, they tried to use inches, yards. There's all kinds of stories on why it got started, when it got started. Needless to say, every time I look back in history, it says something about 1946 is when they tried to integrate an international measuring system with a conversion of meters to inches, meters to feet, yards, and all that stuff. Yeah, I can get into all of why I think they actually did it, why Christopher Columbus actually came here, and so on and so forth. But when you look back at their mathematical system that they had in place, a measuring system and just stuff, it's like, well, they couldn't have pre-planned all this, so they were still stupid and didn't try to perfect certain things until a specific time. But they wanted to be opposite of what their system is over there. That is plotted out. That is part of the plan. Same reason why we drive on the right side, they drive on the left side. Everything is so different from over there. Why you think that is? When the people that came here, that founded the United States of America, came from over there in England, where they use meters, where they use, now they drive on the left side of the road, and there's so many other things. But I'm gonna get into that anyway. So that's how many feet would be in a mile. So basically, it's 155. 1,347. It's roughly it. 347 miles is how far it would be. That's not even this. That's slower than the speed of light. Um, I don't know. I'm curious. What if you did put the actual speed of light in there and then reversed it? But of course, this is just a rough estimate. It probably would end up being the actual speed of light because their number system's messed up. Their inches are actually smaller when you convert inches to meters because I use 0.025 meters per inch, I believe. Is that right? Anyway, I perfected a system that I never completed it, but that would end all the infinite loops and numbers in the conversion from their numbers that they use over there and our numbers that we use here. That's basically it. That's why I originally started this. I don't know, 15 years ago, and I'd pick it up. I was in it deep for like probably 5 years, and then I quit. And I'll pick it up here and there a little bit and mess around with stuff. But I was curious how far you could go with the Mobius strip. That's my point. Because people were trying to say, "Oh man, it's infinite; it will never end." And I'm thinking it's made of matter, so matter, energy, space. Actually, they got everything wrong. They like to categorize things like that. Oh, it's made of energy, or it's made of matter, or no, matter, energy, space are all the same thing. They're just different. They're different forms of the same stuff, the same substance. Anyway, so yeah, this is how far. This is a basic rough estimate, but that's about how far you could actually get. Um, Now I don't know. See, I think it would take me some time to think about this because I don't know. When you get into a Mobius strip, it's like your mind gets twisted. But if it was 9 inches by 1 inch, like if the width was 1 inch, basically it's the width that matters, not the length. But I think you add the length, like you would be like it would be 155,347 plus 9 inches. You see what I'm saying? If the Mobius strip itself was the length was 9 inches or 12 inches, and you'd add a foot. If it was, you see what I'm saying? So on and so forth. So, um, but regardless, the two numbers that matter. See, it's another thing that they don't comprehend. I put a video up recently about how you could perfect pi and solve the problem. Well, the circumference will always change, but there were two numbers that would be constant. Then there would only be one number that would change. That ends the infinite loop with everything, dude. It's like them trying to divide 7 and 3. You can't do it. It only goes 3 times, and there's a remainder of 4. They try to keep putting that in there. No, you can't put it in there. That's it. It's over with. That's how much would go into, if you had 7 balls and 3 slots, then 3 of them would go in. Not 7, not 3 point blah, 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 blah. 3.14, yada, 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 yada. It's crazy. It's insane. So I put pi at 3.125. Then you times that times the um, diameter, and you get the circumference. So the circumference would always change. And it would never be a perfect number. It would never be a perfect circle because there ain't no such thing as it. Not even mathematically. Their math's wrong. But, yeah. So, I don't know. I thought I'd just do this. I thought I'd record it anyway and upload it. Maybe it'll mean something to somebody.